Hey, it's Mark. So I haven't run through my scans yet. I just have looked at a few things because I just got back home. I had kind of a long day. So the stuff I'm looking at right now is just stuff I've had on my watch list before. But there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Like I saw that the TLT, the long-term bonds, were actually pretty pretty good today. The print was really nice. Like it's a hammer candle. And it looks like, yeah, it broke out. So I wouldn't be surprised if the bonds just keep going here. And that's kind of been, I guess, the writing on the wall with the idea that rates are gonna, that rates are gonna come down. So that's something to keep an eye on. It's kind of interesting how the TLT actually finished the day strong, whereas the major indices and stocks were really weak into the close. Like you look at I'm looking at Russell 2000 here, and it was a really good down move in the afternoon, which is when they usually happen. Like it's usually in the afternoon, just from my anecdotal watching, because I don't watch it every day. I don't watch the market like all day every day. So, but the afternoons are usually lately when it's been kind of a sell off, the sell off times, if there is one. But there's usually some good moves. But this move's pretty for where the VIX is kind of, it's actually not really, doesn't seem that significant. Because like 1% moves are pretty common, even two, going up to two here. But I saw that the Nasdaq actually is the most interesting because it's like the first real sell-off day in like like a while here. So that the way it printed it looks like it really wants to top out there with that print, and the uptrend's broken, and these indices have been trading really well on technicals lately. Like the breakouts keep breaking out, which is like pretty rare. You don't see that all the time, especially in stocks, but sometimes indices are really tricky too. There's a lot of fake outs and stuff. But the technicals have been just like momentum stock technicals. Like the breakouts break out and the pullbacks are short and then just breaks out again. But I'm just kind of looking at the way it's been traded in the last the last 6 months here. So it just gets in these channels. So like I've got a bunch of lines from previous stuff here, so let's clean up a bit. But it goes in these channels where it just it goes up straight, down straight. So like a lot of days in a row, it'll be in directional, which is kind of nice. Like the past like couple months have been really directional, just up, 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 and So the my hunch is, as I look at the candles here, that's a pretty good. It's a pretty long candle. So I think the algos just kind of stopped buying like in the afternoon, and I made some trades. I shorted Russell 2000 micro futures contracts, and I made some really good trades on those. Like the down move was just pretty consistent. Um, but usually one of the things I noticed is when the market's going up, a lot of times the sell-offs, even the quick sell-offs, are pretty volatile comparatively. Like it won't. Like I remember in 2020 and 22, the uh, the market was down so much, but it was actually, it never was like down, consistently, like with volatility like down 3% a day, 3% a day. It's like it's really choppy, like especially intraday. Like the intraday more so was pretty hard to trade on the short side actually last year, because I was trading a lot more then, and it's just kind of like, the algos, they like to buy more, so this move is pretty interesting, but nothing crazy. Like when I was watching it, I was like, man, it's like it could have been a flash crash or something because the algos just totally stopped. Um, like you can see it better on like here, this down leg here was pretty rough. Like this is like a 1 minute chart, so I usually look at the 1 or 2 minute when I'm scalping. I actually like the 2 minute better, but some of these down moves are pretty strong. Looks like it wasn't a lot of volume though. Yeah, like you look at the volume on the day. The volume on the day was actually pretty light, but it still doesn't mean it couldn't be a top, because I think it seems like it needs a pullback. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just have another down channel. And the stuff I've been finding, this, my stock selection has been really good lately. Like these, I've been posting on my Twitter account. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend checking out my Twitter account, because I'm very active on Twitter and post a lot of charts and just stuff like that. So check out my Twitter account. It's stock/_pursuit, and then that's my handle. It's at stock pursuit with the __ whatever between. So yeah, but the stuff I've been finding, like these biotechs, have been amazing. Like I really didn't even expect this big a move off of a lot of these. Even today with this sell-off on the afternoon, like a lot of these, some of these held up pretty good. Like the Migi, like this one here, this MIGI was up like 40% today or 30% today, and that watch list I put out last night just really hit it here. Like I think the DNA was even up at one point, and the EVGN was up. The Migi was up like 30% or more, and I think even EXEL broke out. I need to check the iron because that's a good one too. Like I've gotten a pretty good eye for these patterns, so yeah, it looks like that one failed. That breakout failed there, so it's really like a flip, because it's more of a short now. If it's red the next day, looks like a total failed signal on that one. The iron's just continuing its flag here. It still looks like a flag. I think the volume was even lighter today on the selling, so that indicates a flag most likely. And the sell volume keeps going down on the flag. So there's a lot of biotech that's still kind of interesting. Like I had some other ones in my watch. Like I have a small portfolio of some actually in my one of my accounts, and this APLT is kind of interesting here because it's up around that resistance level, and it's acting like it's respecting this resistance level here as maybe as support, because it's it's kind of gravitating towards the support level here. So that's something to watch. I think it's got a good chance to break out because it looks like a really good flag triangle there. So let's get I'll zoom in a little more and we can see the exact levels. I'd say, yeah, if it breaks down below 280, 284, give or take, it's looks like the pattern's gonna fail. But the excuse me, the miners are really good. I've been doing really good. I actually locked in my CIFR calls for like over 100%. And that one was crazy. And the any is pretty impressive too. I've been talking about this one since, gosh, for like since back here. And the CIFR, I just took that off. Might have been a good, yeah, it looks like I made a good exit because that's a pretty, looks like a reversal might happen in there. And you get the risk off kind of in the afternoon. Maybe Bitcoin, I don't know, Bitcoin's been really risk on. So if we go to risk off, you know, and there's like a sell off or a pullback, I think there's a chance Bitcoin participates in that. I think the thing to watch is the bonds. Like bonds may actually kind of break away. Bonds may break away from the market if you know, if they do lower rates, which seems to be on the table, you know. So this looks like it wants to break out. So that's something I'm gonna watch the coming days, because that may be one of the only good long trades for sure is these bonds. But some other stuff was going, like the BVS was up too. I guess it got caught up in the sell-off in the afternoon too, probably. The afternoon sell-off was pretty it's kind of brutal to a lot of these stocks. So I haven't gone through my scans, but I'll just look at like one or two, and then I'll try to keep the video less than 20 minutes or so, because it takes a long time to upload sometimes if it's over 30 minutes, or especially 40. Like I think I did a 40-minute one last night or the day before, and it was like, I think it took like an hour or more for YouTube to upload. But I do have them on Loom too. Like it may be even faster to view them on Loom, but I usually upload them to Twitter. The Twitter is actually really fast on the upload speed. I think it's even faster than YouTube, which is interesting. But I've been uploading my videos to Twitter and putting them on Twitter too, on my Twitter account or my X account. I was looking for my handle here for my Loom, because I do them on Loom here. I use the Loom, but I'm not exactly sure my handle is on Loom because I don't look at it. But I just want to run through one scan. But I guess first let's just do these indices real quick. So yeah, the Nasdaq looks like a short-term pullback coming, or at least it's gonna get choppy. I mean, it's not gonna break out, you know, the next couple days most likely. But the XLI is down. It's back on that short-term trend support. Let's see what the long-term trend support's like. Yeah, it's right on it too. It's right on trend support, and it's over that level. But yeah, a lot of times breakouts, they like to come back and retest the level, you know, so this will become support possibly. That's just in general, but that's not a crazy looking good or bad chart. But the semis, my hunch is that semis have kind of been one of the leaders for the Nasdaq. Like I don't look at all the internals and stuff, and I don't look at a ton of data because there's only so much you can look at. But the semis, have been reliably strong, all year. So, and tech. So that's actually kind of a the print today looks worse than Nasdaq. Like it's about the same range as this one here back in the middle of October. If you can see that candle there, where this pointer thing is, it looks exactly like it's about the exact same day range. So, and that had a pullback. That was actually the top. It's actually kind of similar. Like it did a doji candle, which is a reversal candle, and it did a shooting star candle up here. And so yeah, that looks pretty short-term bearish to me. And even oil was down today. But I took some. I put on some snap puts like yesterday, and I may have gotten a really good entry on that if the Russell keeps coming down, because it kind of goes with the indices, snap. So I put on the 1550 puts for snap, and my hunch is it's going to come down considerably, or at least really fast, if it does start to break trend, because it's been up so much. Like it's kind of been like maybe like overbought, for the meantime. So I kind of figured out this trend line there, but the trend line's hard because it's so long. Usually, like it expands, so I think that could be one there, and you can see it's not like a perfect trend line anywhere, but the print that print there was kind of telling to me that I talked about. So I may be doing pretty good on these, if we do get a sell-off. So just looking through my trades, some of the stuff I've made for trades today. Oh yeah, the BKSY. This one looked like it was ready to go, because it's held this support level really well, and it's kind of been an underperformer, even though the fundamentals are really good on the company, and it's a good industry. It's a defense industry, and the revenue growth is just really good. So I kind of have my eye on some of these that are just undervalued. So this one had a pop, like it looks like it's still got some good technicals there. Like the volume on the day was pretty good. So I bought some more calls today. I bought them like out to February 250 calls, and I bought more 150 calls for this month. And I bought more IMPP too. Because IMPP did really good today, considering the sell-off wasn't as much. It held a lot of its gains today. It's up. It's green on the day. And it's just like a steady uptrend too. So I bought some more calls on this one because it's so cheap. It's like selling for less than like its net liquidation value, roughly. So the BDRY, I found this ETF. I forgot about it, or I didn't look at it in a long time. The BDRY is the dry bulk shipping ETF, and it broke out like 2 days ago, and it's not surprising, but the pullback today is not that bad. Like these shippers have been really good. I didn't see any crazy good setups in the shippers, so I'll just look at like one more watch list, or I was gonna go through some scans, so like in a couple minutes here, let's go through a scan or two. So I'm kind of interested in what the gap down scan looks like. Yeah, 27. So my gap down scan, it's got a lot of stuff that's like not even around the highs or the lows. Because I prefer these when they're at the 52-week low, kind of, at support levels. So let's just sort it by RSI. So the low RSI, yeah, that SPPL, like I was talking about that one just yesterday. That came down a lot today too, 18% today. That was another video. That was in the video I did yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I was seeing how this one looks kind of fluffy. Like a pretty good short, SGA. Oh, that superconductor thing's down. I think this one had like a lot of CNBC hype. Yeah, back here. Yeah, I remember this one. The AMSC. It had like a CNBC pump, and CNBC can actually pump stocks sometimes, and they do, whether it's inadvertently or, well, it's sure it's inadvertently, but they do sometimes can add some volume to stocks, if they're less than like, a large cap volume. I mean, this one, the volume's not so much, so they could obviously have some influence. But a lot of people hate this stock, so I think the shorts might pile in here to the AMSC. So yeah, there's not a lot of good setups for gap downs. Let's see if anything had 52-week highs today. Let's see what they were. Yeah, LQDA. I think that one, if I'm correct, that one's pretty Momo, like momentum. Yeah, it can keep going. That's a heck of a day on that one. 35%. I think the Midgie was the Midgie was probably one of the top performers that Biotech I found. Yeah, some more these pharmaceuticals kept showing up in my scans. Like there's a FENC. I think pharma may be a good place to keep looking too at biotech, like biotech stocks. There's another one broke out today. Yeah, I was just seeing a lot of them yesterday in my scans. It's a lot of biotechs going. I think the artificial intelligence software might be helping that a lot. So yeah, I was gonna look at the top gainers. Let's see if Midgie hit it. I might have these. Yeah, I've got these filtered for lower price stocks too, but yeah, there were some good gainers today. There's some weird stuff like SST. That's kind of had an amazing day. SST. That's interesting. Like it just looks like it just started its run too. It's probably a bio or something. What is that? SST. Business services. Yeah, that's interesting. It's spiking today when a lot of things are topping out. Future FinTech. What is that? Yeah, that's not a good one. Like a lot of these tickers, I just remember because it's usually the same tickers over and over again that get a lot of momentum and high range. So I'll probably go through like a couple scans here tonight, and I'll report back on my Twitter if I find anything interesting. There's the Midgie, was up 26%. I guess it was up. It was up over 30% at one time, but of course it pulled back like everything else. But the Midgie was a nice one. I might keep going too. Like I don't know what their pipeline's like or a whole lot about the company, but a lot of times the momentum just keeps going. Yeah, look, it was up after hours too. It went back to 2. Wow. Tiny company, $30 million market cap. Is it even a biotech? It showed up in my scans as a biotech. Interesting. Ah, it's crypto mining. Okay, that makes sense too. Wonder if they changed their business lately. Crypto miner. NCTY. This one has a history of runs too. Back a long time ago. Like I think in like the 2010, 29, after the Great Recession, like this was a Momo stock. It might have been even more recent, but it's definitely a long time ago. It looks like just some SPACs. SPACs are up maybe. It's another blockchain thing. What's that? DMGGF. That could be interesting too if it's a blockchain or crypto. So that one's it's super low priced, but it broke out today and it's really strong. So I think the thing to watch tomorrow is bonds and biotech and crypto, because I think those have a chance to keep going. And I'm not going to really hunker down at short bias stuff because I already have a bunch of stuff on for puts. Like I've got Siri puts on too. And the Siri puts looks like it's going to work out because it's still failing that resistance right there. It's just looks like it's going to keep coming down after it touched that level. So I'll just call it a wrap there, and probably do a video tomorrow or next day. We'll see. Talk to you later.